order.
All right. What's up, guys? Did I hear something funny in the
Yeah,
back?
that was my charting. Sorry, guys, I got to put it. I'm getting
Yeah,
everything
no
set
worries.
up here for 6:30. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've
On
got
YouTube.
trading in the morning, right?
Yeah, in about half hour here. So
All right, buddy. Well, if you need to drop off or whatever, yeah, go for it.
yeah, I'll listen in and I'll chime in when I can here. I'll just put me on mute right now and listen to you guys.
Cool, no worries. So today we're diving into part 4 of the Warrior Stack training, which is all about your focus. And I think on several of our calls recently, we've been narrowing down our focus, and that theme has come up. It's like what you focus on grows. And I think we all see that, right, in our lives, especially right now with this crazy world going on around us. It's like, yeah, if you focus on the negativity, the scary stuff, the fears, it's like you tend to find evidence for that, right? But what I really hope to, just the seed I hope to plant in your soul, and this on some level already, so it's not like I think you don't know it, but I think you got to plant that seed really deep. Like the stories you tell yourself are so important, because then your mind will go out seeking things that reinforce what you believe, right? So and I think for that reason, your focus, whatever you focus on, whether it's the problems, the burning fires that need to be put out in your life, or whether it's the things that are going great, like your focus really kind of determines how you feel, what you feel about the current status of your life across the 4 pillars, right? COVID has totally come along and shaken up our whole world. So it's disrupted our focus, it's disrupted our habits, our routines. By and large, a lot of the things that we thought were reliable, kind of like pulling the carpet from under our feet. So of course, when everything is disrupted in that way, I think that the psychologically, our natural tendency is to just go seeking information. What in the world is going on? What is true? What is bullshit? What's actually happening, and just trying to get a grasp on the world around you when it's like the whole thing's been shaken up, like a snow globe or whatever. We talked about like the news and the conspiracy stuff and just all the crazy things people are dwelling on and postulating, right, about what's going on. And to me, I think the biggest problem is just, we didn't and we don't still probably know where to search for answers. It leads to information overload, which leads to like just this chaos in our minds, right? So Garrett says with this training, he says, without relevant focus, so you need to learn to get relevant to, what you want in your life, right? But without relevant focus, the results you see from the actions you take are severely limited. So how do you create focus that actually matters to you, your business, and your family? How do you shift your patterns and behaviors so the actions you take are not only results focused, but also swiftly executed with power and certainty? This training and action map that comes with it open up the question of what might be possible if the stories you keep telling yourself over and over again in your head are false. So, what if rather than a curse, or the end of the world, maybe what if instead COVID is actually a gift? What if it's life challenging you, to see what you've got, what you're made of? So let's go ahead and dive into the question. So this is the stack training section 4, create focus. First question in this sequence is, do you believe in a power beyond yourself? Some call it God. I will call it the voice. Why or why not? So that's kind of, Garrett, I think I'd explain it to you guys on other calls, but he often refers to like the inner voice, like your conscience, if you want to call it that. But there's some part of us, deep down inside that has the answers and that I believe is guiding us. And so, do you believe in that, that voice, that God, that that transcendent, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, why or why not, he asks. I said, and so this is leading off of the third one, which was all about kind of building up your faith. And so we did get it. I don't know if you saw that one yet, Rico, but we did get a little bit into kind of the, I shared some of my personal beliefs, spiritually wise, I guess. But anyhow, so I'm going to dive a little more into it. And yeah, I just want to be honest and open and share my perspective, and take it or leave it. But so yeah, my answer was absolutely, I believe. Much of my life was a battle with this question, and I strayed far away, maybe subconsciously, because it was almost a scary idea to me that there's some higher power, some consciousness beyond our understanding. But today I can't even say I believe. No, I know. I have more than just faith. I have knowledge of God and his work in my life. I see it everywhere. It's only because I ran away from him for so long that I didn't see the signs before. Second question he asks is, what role do you believe God or the voice has played in this current pandemic, COVID-19? And my answer was, I do believe this event has the fingerprints of God himself reaching out and shaking the world, like to awaken the sleepers almost. The voice is calling us all to step back and look at our lives, to develop more consciousness of our actions and our world. The collective unconscious, which is kind of a Jungian term, I hope that means something to you guys, but I do think it's almost like the collective unconscious is coming out into the light. And I think that's also why we see a lot of conspiracy and I mean, some of it's likely true, but yeah, I think it's kind of, it is a collective unconscious dynamic going on. Anyhow, getting back to what I wrote back in April, I think God is using this to show us our leaders' true colors, to ask us what we stand for, and to delineate what truly matters from what does not. I think this is a time of great awakening, and I have been openly discussing it more and more with several friends who also feel this energy, kind of like almost like it's an advanced period of spiritual evolution. I think I said that on our last call, like an upgrade, or like I've up leveled. As I said, but as I told my friend Kawhi last night, so yeah, this just, if you haven't tuned into the prior videos, Rico, this is sharing what I wrote back in, I think it was like April 11th or something, very beginning of April. So it's kind of interesting and sometimes funny reading back these.
I kind of glossed over, like, to be honest with you, Cody, I wasn't really at any spots that had internet, so I didn't really get into it.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries.
I'm off for a couple of days now, so I'm going to get into it and get back to work here.
Yeah, not a problem, but I'm glad to have you here today, buddy. So anyhow, I guess around that, whenever I'd written this, I had just had a conversation with my friend Kawhi. Anyhow, as I'd said to her, I think, while I see that this is kind of like a great awakening, or like some sort of a spiritual phase of evolution, or whatever you want to call it, it also raises the stakes greatly. I wrote, this event has exposed us all for who we really are, our actions and shortcomings. It's exposed the cracks in our businesses, our relationships, our systems, to shine a light on what needs changing. This is a turning point where we can either take action and thrive, or do nothing and watch the world around us get even darker. Hello, wake up call. Time to DTFW, which means do the effing work. That's what I wrote. So what do you do? If either one of you guys have any thoughts on those, do you have any beliefs, thoughts, or feelings about the concept of God, the God of your own understanding, that you're willing to share? Is there something in that placeholder for you? And yeah, do you think that has played a role with what's going on with this pandemic situation at all?
I kind of feel that too, Cody. I think it's almost like a reset, almost like a test. I noticed, like, when we're in Vancouver, it's completely different, like the protocols and everything, and everybody's on edge, and it was very uncomfortable. So actually we went into the country, into the desert, We were there for a week just to kind of get away from all the craziness. But I do, actually, me and Cindy were talking about it. I do think it's a reset. It's almost like a test. And I think we're failing a little bit. I don't know. It's like nature's taking revenge on us a little bit. If that makes any sense. The earth. I'm not into the hippie stuff or woo stuff as I call it. But it seems like it's almost like a reset. It's almost like a reset to me that we got to start to learn to grow our own food. If this grows into what I think it might grow into, which I hope it doesn't, or they're going to create. I'm not into conspiracy stuff, but you read stuff that they're going to create a food shortage, so everybody's got to go. You can't get food unless you have the vaccine, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You read about it's hard to believe what what the news, and I'm kind of turning it off a little bit because you just go nuts, watching it. But I do, like you said, I do believe there is some truth to that, what you just said. Maybe it's a test for people. So
yeah.
One of the things that kind of goes with that is how everything, at least here in the U.S., when all this happened, you've had it's almost like a direct attack on faith as well from, I guess, the government in a way, because they're trying to shut down everything, trying to silence those, I guess, believers in a way, not allowing services to go on or anything like it. Any type of worship to go on and stuff like that. It's just kind of shocking, all the stuff that I guess they did just to help supposedly prevent the spread of everything going on. But I mean, I think y'all talked about it pretty well.
Yeah, I kind of believe that too. It's like you're allowing certain entities to run, but you're allowing like the mom and pop places. You have Walmart, you have these big corporations. They're allowed to run no matter what, because they're essential. But a mom and pop store, you got to shut down. It doesn't make any sense. Here we had school starting yesterday. I don't have kids, but it's like some of my friends are like, you're going to let your kids go to school, but we can't go. Like they closed down all the nightclubs, all the bars, all the like weddings, halls. Like they shut everything down, but you're going to let kids go to school. It doesn't make, I don't know, what they're doing doesn't make any sense to me. And it seems like, and me and Cindy were talking about it. We're like, after the long weekend, because this is our long weekend, it's like they're going to shut everything down, and it's to the day, boom. We actually went to an attraction in a tram. We went to go down, and they're like forced us. They were trying to tell us we had to wear a mask, and I'm like, well, where does it say we have to? We didn't really get in an argument with them, but it was kind of like, we're not doing it. Like, we're in a tram, we've got to clean it. You asking us to clean it, wipe it down, but there was nobody there. It was just weird. It was really, I don't know. It's really
Sitting
weird.
all by yourself.
Yeah, it's basically we're there by ourselves in a tram, going up and down. It's a 5-minute thing, and it was just really weird. It was like they're almost like in spacesuits, the people that were taking our money. Like they had masks. It's like it's like surreal almost a little bit.
Have they allowed the churches near you guys to reopen yet? Out of curiosity.
You have to do the social distancing. You got to sign in. It's like Big Brother crap. We got. I don't know if I remember. We got this app in Canada.
Yeah.
They want us to download this app, so you just
contact tracing.
Yeah, it's I'm not in conspiracy stuff, but it makes zero sense. It makes zero sense what they're.
We're going on a bit of a tangent, but yeah, I saw something this morning actually, and it made me angry. I saw like one of the guys I was actually developing kind of a partnership with up in Manila, who we had a event that was scheduled for June that had to be canceled, and we were hoping to work on retreats and eventually a larger conference here. Anyhow, this morning he posts something about he's got some government assholes on. It's like an entrepreneurship show, and he's got some ministers of something talking about how basically how the techie folks in the Philippines should be developing contact tracing apps and how there's funding for that. And I was just like, oh, I guess we're not going to be partners anymore. Like, all right, I'm sure there's money in that, but it's like, yeah, you're going to sell your soul to the devil, like literally. That's what, in my opinion. But anyhow,
like getting back to your question though, Cody, it's like God, we're God now. The government's God. You do what we say. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, it's like they have total control over us. It's like they want us to it's almost like they want us to control how we think a little bit.
Oh,
and that's
absolutely.
Me. Like it totally me.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that with my fear story in just a second. But okay, so let's get back to the third question here. Do you feel closer to or further away from God or the voice as you've completed the action maps in this series? Why or why not? And I said, I feel much closer to God. These exercises are helping me connect with the voice and heed its call. Self-reflection and reframing my personal narrative have been the most powerful tool I've found in the last 7 years as I've gone through the roller coaster of turmoil, tragedy, hardship, and learning to grow the F up and take responsibility. Trusting that there's something there drawing me forward to a better future has unlocked tangible results for me in the last 2 years and finally given me hope that seemingly impossible situations before are actually conquerable with God's help. So yeah, any thoughts? Do you feel like you've become more in touch with your own spirituality or with God in whatever sense for you guys over the last 6 months since this began?
I believe so. I started off worrying quite a bit about things that might happen nearby, and I guess it's been over maybe about a month or two ago. I started listening to more, I guess, like Christian type stuff as far as music goes, and podcasts, and kind of goes over chapters of the Bible and everything, and I guess lessons taught through us through the Bible, and it kind of helped me, I guess, be a little bit more relieved than I was. I wasn't worrying so much, and my goal is to have a stronger understanding of, I guess, of God and the Bible and more knowledge of all that. So, and that's one of the reasons I was listening to some of the podcasts that I had been listening to, and it just kind of helped me, not worry so much.
It's funny. I think I did tell you yesterday, Eric, like, we've been doing almost daily Bible study, and I've been doing that for about 1.5 years, I think, at least. Mm-hmm. And I mean, just for context, like, I guess, I'm not trying to be rude, but like when I first met my wife, I mean, Eric knows this, but the Philippines is a hugely Catholic country. I would guesstimate it's probably at least 85 or 90%, quote unquote Catholic. And I guess early on in our relationship, both with my wife and her mom, like, see, I've always had this thing about, there's nothing wrong with church. I love churches. I've attended some, but to be like I was telling you, it's like I kind of sometimes have a problem with the label, and
yeah.
Like while when we had our pastor in the neighborhood nearby, I would go and attend, and I'd have great I would rather hang out with him and just talk one-on-one, actually. So mm-hmm. I'd invite him over sometimes and whatever, but I've never found like one place where, I guess, what was that old quote? It's like, I wouldn't be a member of any club that would have me, Mm-hmm. And yeah, I feel personally like I just think it's best to kind of develop your own nuanced understanding and faith, throughout the course of your life, and that's what I've done. But anyhow, like early on in my relationship, I would have trouble at times because the Catholic upbringing, I think, like, there's a lot of religiosity, a lot of the whatever, the ritual and Like I used to take my wife to the Catholic Church all the time, so she could just go like light a candle and say her prayers and stuff. So that's cool. I didn't really share her whatever her theology, but like early on I would have trouble because it's like there's all this pomp and circumstance, but they don't know the Bible. They don't know, they don't have very deep knowledge of like the actual teachings, I guess, themselves, or the just the vast body of wisdom, that's part of that heritage, which always surprised me. But so, throughout this crisis, it's been like actually really cool because I was doing my Bible study. I was like, yeah, I want to understand and, just seek to learn and figure it out as best as I can. And so I just committed like a year and a half or so ago to, even if no one was going to join me, all right, I'm going to read it every morning, at least a little bit. But throughout the last 6 months, I've noticed a big change in my wife. And it's like, I think she's leading the Bible study now, which is funny, and interesting. And I think she's really she's developing a much more. I just see her spiritual life blossoming, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
In a more,
I think,
genuine way.
As you mentioned yesterday, I believe it was with labels as well, and it just like, I think it's like, well, I mean, you believe, what matters, as far as like the labels go, what religion it is. Like, I mean, as far as like, you got all your Protestant religions out there, and you got Catholicism, and so well, you all believe the same thing pretty much. Yet they're all kind of battling against each other as far as who's right, who's wrong, and
well, yeah, it's always hard to find a group of, I guess, any believers, but maybe especially Christians, because it's like, yeah, people want to like agree over every little detail, and it's like, I don't think the little details matter. I mean, they're certainly they do matter, but like, yeah, should we be bickering endlessly about them? Probably not. Anyhow, but let's carry on here. So okay, time to get clear. What do you want to be true beyond this current situation with COVID-19 for your body, your vitality, health, energy? So that's like basically our health pillar, right? And I wrote, I want more vitality for sure. I want to cultivate much more energy and focus. I guess that means it's time to start crushing my addictions to negative shit. I want to look back, especially the cigarettes. That's my biggest one. Over the next couple months, I need you guys to keep me accountable. Actually, yeah, I'm aiming to. I got my little vaporizer, whatever thing, and my nicotine gum, and I'm trying to get off of it before the baby comes in November. But anyhow, back to what I was writing here. I want to look back at 40 years old and be in the best physical shape of my life. I want to look and feel great, and more importantly, I want to breathe freely, develop high endurance, and have a driving physical energy and mental clarity that pushes me to serve my higher purpose in ways I've not been able to do these last few years. So what about you guys? What do you really want in the health pillar, in your fitness, your nutrition, in your body?
As far as me, and mine kind of goes with this whole. I mean, it says beyond your current situation with COVID-19, and I just listed. I'd like to believe my immune system can handle any virus that was created. It says there are always natural ways to increase your immune system, such as healthy eating, supplementation, and exercise. So I said I don't always eat the healthiest, but trying to eat healthier and exercise more just to increase those odds, to help, I guess, build my health up as much as possible.
That's the other funny thing. It's like I still haven't seen hardly any discussion of like nutrition or health or your immune system throughout this whole 6 months. Just stay inside, cover your face, don't get any sunshine.
I was just gonna say that, Cody. Like, you don't hear anything. Hey, let's get healthy. It sounds like a lot of the people that are getting sick have underlying health issues. 94%, according to CDC or whatever. You don't hear any of that. Like, for me, I'm eating quite a bit better. I quit eating red meat and chicken, and I do fish. My vegetables intake. Started kind of meditating a little bit more, reading like Joseph Campbell, kind of get my mind off the shit. But it's just, you get bombarded almost, What else? The gyms are closed here, so I've been kind of walking my dog and that sort of stuff. So I think for me, it's more of a mental thing. Get my mental, it is a little bit depressing. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit bummed out over this, but that's where I'm kind of at, is my mental health. My physical, I'm not bad. I'm pretty good for 49. I used to be bodybuilding and all that. So I've done all that kind of stuff. So I think I know how to do that if I really wanted to get back into that, get into shape and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of more of my mental health, my energy. I am back to work, and I'm back to shift work. So I'm kind of dreading that a little bit, because I've been off for a week, and I definitely feel way better mentally and physically, and my energy, my spiritual energy is pretty good. We're out in the desert. You kind of pick up that energy from nature a little bit. It's very,
absolutely.
very good. Yeah. Like we're out
good, man.
So we were camping out and stuff. So it was pretty good.
That's good. Okay. So
that's one of the things here as well. Like I was on vacation for the last 2 weeks, and being away from all that negative stuff at work, it just help clear your mind so much.
Yeah, the first thing what you pick up from other people, to be honest with you. Like I noticed that being out, by yourself and out in nature, it's just you and your thoughts, and you kind of can think clearly a little bit more. And it's, I work with good people. But that's all they talk about, Corona and this and that, and it kind of gets me after a while.
Okay, so next question here is, what do you want to be true beyond this current situation with COVID-19 for your being? And so Garrett, in his system, he's got kind of like our 4 pillars. I would say the being section maps onto what I call the mindset pillar. So here he says spiritual connection, your purpose, your certainty. So yeah, just I think that kind of entails mental health, but your psychology, your belief, your connection to any kind of spirituality, whatever works for you, and feeding your mind. So you kind of touched on that stuff a bit, Rico. But what do I want in that realm? I said this is my strongest pillar by far. I've spent the last 3.5 years focused almost exclusively in that area, and I think it's transformed me as a man, and the results in my life in big ways already. So yes, I need to continue to maintain this commitment and go even further. I want to increase my certainty and ruthless commitment to results around my purpose, as well as my ability to frame and communicate my own powerful personal narrative, so it can be put to its highest use and influence others and the world around me. I want to continue to study God's word and one day lead many others to do the same, because I know it's a transformative power on people's lives. I want to be a beacon of hope and help spread truth, faith, and purpose to thousands of people in my world, so that together we can change the tide of what's happening in the world. So yeah, any thoughts from you guys, kind of in that being, spiritual, mindset, purpose, those in that realm? What do you want in the big picture?
Well, as far as like with everything, and what I'm working towards is to find a deeper spiritual connection. And that's one thing that at the beginning of all this stuff I was really lacking. And I know, as I said previously, some of the content that I've been taking in is kind of been helping that as well. That and I feel like at least these stack trainings have kind of helped me see what I need to focus on as well, to help, put me on the right path. As far as business wise and relationship wise, things I need to do more of or less of, and stuff.
Okay, so in the next pillar, what do you want to be true beyond this current situation for your balance? And I would say that maps onto what we call the relationships pillar. So, in this case, your marriage, your spouse, your partner. I said, I want to be proud to be married to Jam. I want to feel deeply connected spiritually, emotionally, and sexually. I want to work together on our communication to develop a shared vision for the future of our family and legacy, and to build an energetic and spiritual bond that can never be broken. I want to feel wanted, appreciated. I want to feel she's involved in my work to some degree, and my life mission. I want to feel that she trusts me, cherishes me, follows me, and like she is truly my queen, like my ride or die partner to the end. I want to trust that we always speak what is true with each other and can rely on one another through everything. What guy doesn't want that, I guess, right? Yeah. Any thoughts on in that area with your partners,
Well,
spouse?
I have. So what I have written down here is I want the channels of communication to be open 100% with my wife. This is, as I mentioned, I get home from work and I feel like I hardly get to spend time with her because she's always on her phone reading. So it's the quality of the time that I spend with her that I want to improve and get more of. I feel like being at work all day and coming home and not get to spend time with each other is a bit depressing. This is something I want to work towards to improve.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good to identify that. Yeah. Um, and then, this also in my system falls under relationships, but he kind of separates out. Yeah, what do you want to be true beyond the current situation with the crisis for your children and family? And I said, I want to continue to share openly with my son, to guide and teach him as best as I can, and to truly be his mentor. I want to work together on projects, build things, grow a garden, create things together. I want to support his interests and coach him to become stronger in mind, body, and spirit. And we've actually had a great chance to do a lot of that since he's been home from school. I want to help ensure that he develops a strong, unbreakable faith that will help keep him on the path that I fell off of for years, and avoid making the retarded mistakes. I just added that retarded, but the mistakes that I've made that led me to stray so far from the truth for so long. I want to welcome our new baby. This was the biggest like fear and anxiety, I guess, for me at the beginning. But yeah, I hope to welcome our baby, Sophia, into a better world in November. I want her to be surrounded with love, certainty, stability, faith, confidence, hope, and given every opportunity to thrive in this world. Not sit with a mask over her face in a little room for the rest of her life. Excuse me. I want to strengthen my family's structure and resolve, I guess not like faith in the fear of the liars on the TV, I said, or the tyranny of the authorities, but in God and in me as their kind of steward and spiritual leader. So yeah, that was children and family. Any thoughts? Excuse me.
That's one of the things. At one point before all this was going on, I was working so much overtime, and I felt like I wasn't able to get a whole lot of time with my son. And since then, and at least more recently, I've been able to spend whole lot more time, and being able to, I guess, just hang out with him, getting to know him a little bit more, and having fun with him. And it's kind of hard and challenging to work on things that I need to work on whenever he's up and everything. But it's been nice just to be able to get that quality time with him. If not with my wife, it'd be with me and him. And as you're talking about help guiding and everything, and that's where I'd like to go to eventually. I know right now he's kind of a little bit young, but at least help his development and everything is really a nice thing that I can focus on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Excuse me. So, what do you want to be true beyond the current situation for your business? How you make money as an entrepreneur, executive, or employee? I said, I want to earn a good living as a content creator, as a teacher, as a coach, and mentor. I want to open up and share my truth with no fear, no shame, and be an example to others. I want to live in alignment with the truth as I see it and with God's will and desire for my life. I want to help other men go through the transformative processes I've gone through, to lead others to the light, to open up positivity and possibility, to evolve others into leaders for their families, communities, and customers. I want to share the hero's journey, the process of transmuting the darkness and the unconscious into powerful consciousness. I want to teach what I've learned from Jordan Peterson, M. Scott Peck, Garrett White, Russell Brunson, and others, and help people build better lives, stronger families, and empowered communities. So that's my big life goal, I guess. Yeah. What about you, Eric, with business?
Yeah. With right now anyway, in the time where so many people are buying online, and I guess e-commerce is up a whole lot higher than it used to be or than it was beforehand.
That's true. Yeah.
And since I started the online stuff, and I haven't got a whole lot of sales, but that's one thing I'm hoping to be able to grab I guess a market share of, and anyway start, I guess, helping my business grow a little bit faster because of everything going on. And and I'm still, one of the main things that helps you out is just reviews where I'm at. And from everybody I reached out to so far, I haven't got anybody to get reviews. And man, I'm hoping once that changes, it'll take off a little bit faster than right now. Because right now it seems to be like a crawl for everything. But my goal with all this stuff going on and with everything being online is to be able to grow a little bit quicker than, I guess, your normal pace. But that's where I'm at as far as the business
when
goes.
everyone's sitting at home shopping online. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you want to be true beyond the current situation for your bank accounts and like financial situation more specifically? And I said, I would like to experience abundance in our lives, of course, to raise our children in an environment where anything is possible with God's blessing. I want to remove the stress, fear, and anxiety of paying the bills. I want to vanquish the idea of ever having to like cut corners or sacrifice my morals, just to survive. Like that was another big concern and fear, I guess, on my mind at the beginning. Is like, yeah, like if the whole world crashes, I mean, it's just like dog eat dog, So that's a fear of mine. But yeah, I want to be able to kind of like vanquish that idea of having to cheat or what, do something immoral to make a living. I want to obliterate the scarcity and poverty mindset that has held my family back in slavery our whole lives. Especially like me included as well, but kind of especially with the Filipino background. I think that's a big factor. It's been a big challenge for my wife to overcome. So I want to develop more. I went on for a while. I want to develop more self-reliance together within our family, sustainable income streams, and financial intelligence. I want to pass those life skills and mindsets down to my children. And I want to be able to provide for a large family, as well as give generously to those in our community and those who need it much more than us. I said I'd love a plentiful budget to expand the Hero team, which actually we're doing, guys. We have a team now. Our mission and operations to reach thousands of people and make a positive impact in the world. I want the resources to give my children and my wife the best education and connect them with great teachers and trainers one day. I would like to also have the opportunity to travel with my family. I was like thinking, are we ever going to be able to travel again? But yeah, to have the opportunity to travel and show them some of the greatest landmarks in the world, to learn about history, discover and understand our roots and our place in God's plan. I also want Jam's business to continue to grow and thrive. She's been doing very well, so that she has her own kind of Queen's Vault, as we call it, that will bring her some self-confidence, certainty in times when we may face any financial challenges, and just so that she has some freedom and autonomy to do the things she would like to do for herself. So yeah, if any thoughts from you guys in the financial sphere, like income-wise, resource-wise?
I want to get out of the I could get out of the job situation if I wanted to, but it's like I want to make sure. Like there's a little bit of fear there. I've been out of this business for so long. Sorry, give me a sec here. It's stepping, like you said, I don't know how the world's going to go. It's very kind of scary, but I think, like Eric said, it's, a lot of people it's going more online. And I think that's going to be more mainstream now but my thing is, I want to get into the digital nomad. I want to be, like I said, we're looking at the motorhomes. We're doing that. We're figuring out what we want to do. So my kind of thing is get everything automated and running without my assistance per se. That's why I developed the software, and it's kind of gets my time back. For me is very important right now. So
good goal. Nice.
Yeah. So it's, like I said, I've been working on the software for going on 6 months now. So it's pretty much done. I'm just running it again, testing it. I'm actually trading live today, so see how it does.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good, man. Eric, anything from you before we go on?
As far as like financial goes, it'd be nice to. It's a long ways away before I can even think about leaving where I'm at right now, getting off of shift work and everything like that. But I know you mentioned one point, you're dealing with pretty much cash alone, and that'd be nice not to have to rely on banks and everything. Cause
cut up my credit cards.
Yeah.
Never look back.
That would be nice. And right now, I mean, basically with any fees you got with the banks and everything, I mean, they can kind of, I guess, they can screw you over in more ways than you can imagine.
Yeah.
But and I hadn't gotten to this portion yet on the questions, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say. It'd be nice to just get away from all the banks and just to be able to, live on what you make.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, recently, we've been looking for a car for a couple months, obviously with the baby coming, because I kind of just like having a motorbike. I've had it for, I've been driving the motorbike for years, and I love it. But with the baby coming, we needed a car. And, at the beginning in April, I guess, my wife was like, can we, she was all stressing because of just how strict things were getting, and it's interesting, actually. Like I was saying about the class war, like here, it's like it's somewhat apparent that you get a little more leeway if you're driving through a checkpoint in a car versus on a motorbike. So anyhow, that complicated life as well. But she was like, oh no, saying the bank is offering me a credit card. Can we just get a loan or whatever? And I'm like, no. We're just gonna save until we can buy it in cash, and so we did, thankfully. But yeah, it's if you can get there, it's definitely something I recommend. Like you say, they screw you more ways than you can imagine. Okay, so moving on into the next little subsection, he says, pause for 1 minute and breathe. So this kind of harks back to the section, or what am I trying to say? The third segment, I guess, of this sequence, and we were talking about fear stories in the last recording. So it says, kind of to review, what is fear story number 1? So for me, it was basically like, the fear is this is a biblical end time scenario, and some tyrannical world government is quickly taking shape that will enslave us all. That was, that was the darkest, biggest, whatever, craziest thing that was weaving its way around in the back of my mind all the time. Next question, though. If you continue telling yourself fear story number 1, will it support you in getting what you want? Why or why not? I said in big letters, no, because I want a peaceful and prosperous future for my children and grandchildren one day. I believe God wants us to live in peace, prosperity, love, and goodness, and He always gives us another chance to, repent for our mistakes. Like actually, like Rico, you said at one point early on, and maybe you probably have a little different metaphysical view, but I forget how you phrase it. Something about how like we're messing up, and maybe having to pay the price. I do think whether it entails God or not, it's like the world is kind of punishing us for just not having our shit together,
Yeah, that's the way I kind of look at this whole thing. Is we can say the virus was man-made, or my personal opinion, it did come from an animal. I don't know. That's just my gut. But I think it's nature telling us, hey, stop what you're doing, or this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like this is, minor compared to what I could do to you.
Right.
I could get everybody out if I really wanted to, and then she could.
Right.
And that's the way I look at it. It's almost like the universe is. I say nature, but I mean the universe and whatever creation, and it's like, okay, guys, quit fucking up. Excuse my language, because this is what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in that sense, I do kind of look at it similarly, and so I get in Christian language, I guess, when I say, because I think I said something about repentance in the last one. And I used to hate that word, so I don't want it to come across the wrong way. But in my mind, what that means is like recognizing that you are effing up. You're truly doing something that's self-destructive, or it's contributing to like the bigger, like societally, to things not going the right direction, right? And not just like being sorry about it, but like really making a commitment to not do that anymore. That's what I mean by that word, repent. And it's like the game we're playing, or the universe, or God. I do think there's an element of it's just so. How weird is it, that like not only was there the pandemic at the beginning, but then there's riots and people burning down cities. There's, there's. I mean, in California at least, I don't know about your guys' world, but I see it a lot because my family's there. Like it looks like hell, like literal hell right now in certain parts of California. Like the sky is like a dark orange and just everything is on fire. I mean, just all the crazy things going on around the world at once. It's like, something. It's made me take those Bible stories, a lot more seriously than I ever did before. Like, maybe we are. It's got to be a message, of some sort. That's in my opinion. So I just said, I think if we do the right things, and kind of repent for our mistakes.
Like you said last time, Cody, it's, I'm not trying to get political. Trump's the old school, whatever, and it's like, to me, that's dead. I'm not talking, and this is political, aside, like there has to be some change, because what was going on, especially in Canada, what was going on before is not working.
Mm-hmm.
They throw millions and billions, trillions of dollars at stuff, and it's just worse. So it's I think it's a great awakening for people. Hey, you need to start taking care of your own shit, kind of thing. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The guy, all the institutions that you thought were that, was going to save you, or the church or anything. It's like crumbled. It's not there anymore. It's like your social safety net is gone. Well, I know personally, people that have been working for 30 years and their job is gone. Like it ain't ever coming back. People, entrepreneurs, business people, it's just like their livelihoods has been like we're basically on a second lockdown. It's coming. Like they've already kind of said, so everybody's, that's the way I kind of look at it. Is I don't know. You better. It's like people are awakening, and I think that's part of why these riots are happening and what's going on. I think a lot of people, not that I'm saying I agree with some of the stuff where they're rioting, but I think a lot of people are like, we're not having it anymore, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So That's kind of my 2 cents at it.
But yeah, it's certainly like all the, like you say, the institutions and stuff, like everything seems to be failing all at once. Like coin shortage, like yeah, food. Like you said earlier, the UN was sending out the message, like just so you know, yeah, well, there's gonna be mass worldwide food shortage. It's like really all this, but so I said like I think yeah, we need to grow in our roles as what I call stewards or shepherds of God's creation, which I think there's some overlap there. Yeah, I look at, sometimes I call it nature too, or the universe. Like those are sort of almost interchangeable terms for me. But yeah, it's like we're not taking care of the garden. We're not. I mean, we're not really taking care of anything, are we? We're kind of just consuming at any cost. Yeah. So. Anyhow, but to wrap up my answer here, I just said, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that evil is real and I see the darkness being exposed, but this too can serve like the greater purpose to bring light to the shadows and call people to do the right thing. It may simply be time for us to cast the serpents out of the garden. I said, yeah, so there was my garden metaphor. Cast the serpents out of the garden and unite in worship and love is what I said. So that was my addressing fear story number one. Eric, did you get this far?
No, I have not gotten this
Or do you
far.
just have any general comment, like any of your major 4 fear stories? Like what was it, and yeah, can you?
So
Go ahead.
The original fear story that I had was primarily, job related, layoffs and everything like that. And Rico talked about how he knew personally people who had lost their job after like 30 years, and same at where I'm at as well. I mean, people in my area who'd been there 30 plus years, and with all this going on, they just let him go just like that. Got rid of the position and everything. And that's a bit concerning, especially with it being some of my area as well. That's like, well, it kind of puts you on edge thinking about it. But let's see. It talked about previously about if it's true or not, and it's mainly more contract positions out there versus the plant positions. So I don't really think there's a whole lot of worry to do, or as much worrying to do as I was previously.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that was my primary fear story, was just that's my only means to provide for my family right now.
Yeah. Well, if I remember, I think you said on yesterday's call, you didn't find very much evidence, right, to support it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so looking at this today, if you continue, like even just strictly from whether you find evidence or not, but now thinking about what the story does for you, right? Like if you continue telling yourself that story, will it support you in getting what you want?
No. If I'm gonna still thinking about that, it's gonna cause me more stress, more worried, unfocused. The more energy I have to focus on what I'm working on, the better it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and then again, like it follows this sequence where you go through the same. I guess it's just these 2 questions, but for each of your 4 fear stories, I'll share a little bit more. Let me see, what's a good one? Sorry, just give me a sec to read through here. Let's see. Okay, here's one. One of my it's sort of along the lines of, yeah, like fear of losing your job, right? But I said my third fear story was like, if this stupid fear pandemic continues for 36 months or more, the entire world will experience an economic depression like never seen before, and we could end up destitute after putting all our eggs in this one basket. Like after several pretty major financial struggles the last couple of years, and then finally getting our act together, and then I put all of it, basically I went all in on creating a co-working business and doing some events here, and that all got the instant shutdown after the first 2 weeks we were open. But so that was the fear at the beginning, right? But yeah, if I continue telling myself that story, will it support me in getting what I want? I said no, big F-U-C-K, no. If I keep telling myself we stand no chance, then I'll keep sitting here in inaction. I won't even fight if I don't believe it's possible, if I make it a foregone conclusion. I have no idea what surprises life has in store or what the future holds. But even if it is a time of great economic hardship that we're going through, we still have the chance, the opportunity to strive and do our best, to reach for higher. And in the position I've placed myself, I believe we actually are in exactly the right place, perfectly aligned to lead the market, to help bring hope and transformation to many people's lives. And if we can help raise people's vibrations and their realities, then we all rise together. We have the power to create abundance, hope, positivity, love, and faith just with our thoughts, our stories, and our actions. It's time for me to lead by example. So that was a pretty, it's the last section, the faith part 3, Awakening Faith, I think it was called. And this part 4 is really at the beginning we started with the big, deep, dark fears, and this midsection is really where we like pivot the story, look for other possibilities and try to find try to find the facts or the evidence to reinforce the more positive stories. So this one, the last one, I was feeling much better than when I first started this sequence of training, but this one you can just see it right in my words, like it's so much more positive and like hopeful for the future. It like reinforced my desire, my mission with the Foundry more than anything has in the last couple of years. So yeah, it's like it's starting to feel like, wow, maybe this weird crisis is a kind of a blessing in disguise.
I think it definitely makes you reevaluate what's important. And, I think it is a little bit of a reset for me anyway. I think for you too, Cody, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's going to work out personally, but it's going to be a tough go a little bit for now. But I think it's going to, I don't know, who knows, to be honest with you. But I think it's going to turn out. Is it definitely not? We're not going back to normal the way it was. That's definitely never going to happen again. So, it's like you have to adapt or die.
So as long as we don't die, it means we're stronger, right?
Yeah, as long as you keep moving forward, that's kind of where I'm at. As long as you keep moving forward, I'm kind of in not a bad position. I kind of sold my house at the top of the market, kind of thing. I kind of good, yeah. So I'm pretty, what's the word? I wouldn't say I'm comfortable, which is not a good, but I'm not in a bad place. My thing is more of a spiritual thing going on right now. So, but I think it's going to be fine here in a couple. I think after this next lockdown, I think is going to be, I think it's going to normalize a little bit. I think we're still going to have to wear masks and all this other stuff. So, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope. Well, I remain hopeful, but
I'm worried about travel.
Plan for the worst, right?
Yeah, like I'm worried about travel.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern too, long term.
We're looking at. I was looking at Indonesia before I come down here. Like they're total lockdown again.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was one of the
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Okay, well, talking about travel and everything, that was one of the things that we were supposed to do, go visit my wife's family in the Philippines and everything. And because of all this, we never got there. And there's all this talk about, oh, you got to have a, potential vaccine now for this COVID-19 crap to be able to get into the country, be able to fly anywhere. I mean, that's just ludicrous. And I told my wife that was a requirement. We're going to become illegals. We're going to have to take a boat all the way over there just to go visit, because I ain't going to get no COVID-19 vaccine.
No, it's like we can. That's what scares me, because my brain goes to other places when that, like, oh, there's freaking, in the vaccine they got these, microchip they're gonna throw. Like, it's like, I'm not that type of person, but it's like that's
it doesn't look good.
And it's like, you got Elon Musk talking about, we've talked about this before. It's like, we got the neural chip, we got to have the neural chip. Like, it's like they're turning us to human barcodes. That's what and that's what I don't like. Everything they're monitoring everywhere you go, where you been, who you talk to. It's like the social credit thing in China.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, we're not there, I don't think, but it's like, that's what it feels like it's going, and that's what scares me. Cody, you said a bad word, we're taking, you can't fly for 6 months. It's freaking crazy.
Well, another one of my fear stories, just to, so since you're kind of touching on it, out here in particular, like it was shortly before the pandemic hit, and I saw some headlines about how President Duterte here was saying he wants to basically end military ties with the U.S. And so there was, which, I mean, just not wise, considering that the only competition in this region is China. And so, there were, like, surprisingly to me, like, I heard a lot of whispers even from locals about basically how he might be selling out the country to China. And so, just the whole, and then the China virus comes along, right? And like you're saying, it does, the contact tracing and a lot of the restrictions and requirements do strike me that way too, like what I've seen of their social credit system. And so anyway, like, the big fear story I have still, but I'm not gonna let it overwhelm me, but I have this feeling, like, if I could predict the future, I think that out here, Philippines is likely going to become China's playground, if it isn't already. There's already quite extensive Chinese investment, Korean and Japanese too, but I think that I have a feeling, I fear that, they're going to bring their systems here. And I kind of see that in the virtual schooling already with the kids to a little bit of to a small degree, which kind of triggers me sometimes. But it's like, I think, they're going to train them to be good little worker bees the same way they do the Chinese. And then mostly in a few years, if anyone, it's like going to be just the very wealthy and elite Chinese businessmen and stuff, coming out here, bringing their families on vacation. I don't know. I hope they won't mow down all the jungles and ruin the beaches. I don't think they'll do that. But I think that we're probably in for some.
I don't know if they're going to Cambodia.
Changes,
They got Cambodia, and I'm not trying to get into politics, but basically China owns that country. We were over there, and it's like all the resorts, everything's mowed. You hear. I was talking to a local guy. He's like, they're forcing out all the farmers, like, buying their property to make resorts. Like, it's like they're slowly, they own the port. Chinese company, they're doing the big port there. It's like they own them. It's, I don't know. It's scary. Like, I know it's nothing against China, like, but it's like, it's scary what's going on. And I think this is maybe part and parcel. I don't know. Like I said, your brain goes to different places with this virus stuff. It's like, maybe they're getting us in line to go to war. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, it's
like getting rid of all the farmers. There starts that food shortage.
Yeah, It's, I don't know.
Yeah, if we bulldoze all the farms to make resorts, that's not
get
gonna
the
help.
vaccine. That's my opinion. They're going to say that. You know, okay, well, you need this to get this. You know, and I think that's where I'm afraid that's what kind of where we're going to go. But who knows?
You know, what you're saying, Cody, about like, you know, the Turkey cutting ties with everything, like kind of with the U.S. and well, that was I guess a bond, I guess, forged in blood. Like, you know, we fought alongside the Filipinos at the same time. And then you think about it, well, the Turkey is his own personal, I guess, his hatred for the U.S. because he got denied a visa, right? He's taking it personal.
Yeah, I guess I'd heard
Denied a
that.
visa, and so he wants to cut ties with the U.S. to get in bed with China, and China's already helping infrastructure all around the Philippines, and I'm not sure how much they're in debt with China now, but I know the U.S. I mean, heck, I've lost track of how many trillions of dollars we're in debt right now from China. They could probably come and take over half the U.S. and try to own the U.S. fully with everything right now, just because of everything going on. You know, it's kind of scary to think about that, but I mean, you know, they are the country that's getting all these other countries out of debt, or not out of debt, but putting us all in debt. Basically, we're borrowing money, more and more stuff from China, and getting more of their top technologies and stuff like that. It's just it's crazy. And you know, it's kind of going a little bit off about barcodes and what Rico was talking about, and as far as, you know, chips in your hand to start buying stuff, and then you're not, I guess, abiding by what the government wants. They get to cut your funds and not allow you to buy things and everything like that to help. You know, it's kind of crazy, all the stuff that's going on.
Learn to garden, fellas, and start raising some chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, all those fear stories have been running through my mind, yeah, you know, this whole time. But let's see. Well, here, just since we're on that, if I continue telling myself that fear story, though, will it support me in getting what I want? Not really, right? So yeah, I choose to focus on the things that are looking good, that are going well, and just build what I can build where I'm at, and like I say, lead by example, you know, and try to inspire others. I think there's a very serious threat of that particular kind of stuff. Like, obviously, like, we've all seen those chess moves happening. It's not new, right? It's been building for a while, but and it could go really bad. But I guess after all this searching inside, this you know, the journaling and all this stuff I've gone through these last 5 or 6 months, like, yeah, I am placing my faith in, like, I think if we can master our own minds, you know, and focus on the right things, and then just take action and create valuable things, lead by example, you know, I do really believe that can have a domino effect. And it's like, you never know. We could turn the tide. We could inspire others, you know, and maybe people will start to actually summon the courage to stand up to some of the things that are not going well in the world. So yeah, it's all I can do from where I'm standing at the moment. But okay, so to wrap this up, I think this is our last little section here. And Garrett says, as you conclude this action map, what insights or revelations about yourself and your stories are you left with? I said, it is all my fault. I keep preaching, but I'm not really 100% committed to living it. And it all starts with me. First, I must master, I guess this is kind of what I was saying a second ago. First, I must master my mindset, then my body, then my business, and then my family and networks will follow. So this is my chance to shine. I said I wanted to lead men on the hero's journey, and then God himself put me through the most extreme trials and tests to see what the fuck I'm really made of. Well, I'm still here. I'm struggling, but I've made great progress, and I'm still committed. as I fail to harden up and do the things I should do, it almost seems like life keeps removing the things that hold me back, even if it seems painful sometimes. So it's time to simply embrace the journey. And I think, like, it's like, yeah, I was kind of reflecting through a lot of this journaling, like a lot of the things that I was frustrated with at first, and like the restrictions in, from a certain perspective, like it was actually simplifying my life. Like the fact that we can't go, I mean, we can a little bit now, but for many, many months, we basically couldn't go anywhere, It was so frustrating, but it's like, well, I was spending much less money. I had far fewer distractions. We didn't have as many errands and things to go take the kiddo to do. So anyhow, but yeah, it felt like a lot of in some ways, certain obstacles were being removed, and it just gave me the fire to do what I knew I should have been doing anyhow. So yeah, so it's time to simply embrace the journey, do what I know needs doing, master my stories, and then I can share my journey with others. That will be the key to rising, expanding, and crushing. Yeah, any thoughts from you guys? I mean, especially Eric. Any biggest insights or revelations so far with this process with the stack training? Like revelations about yourself and your stories.
Just a lot of my stories and worries were just, I guess, shouldn't have been as stressful as I was making them out to be. As I mentioned earlier, it really helped me get a picture on, like, I guess, what I need to focus on and where I want to go versus being held back by worries and everything that, doesn't mean no good.
Okay, so the second to last one here, based on the insights and revelations you've obtained during this action map, what specific lesson on life are you coming to learn as you complete this action map? I said, everything starts with you, the only thing you can control, the man in the mirror. Master yourself, your mind, your beliefs, and you will master the world. Lead by example. So that was my big shareable lesson, I guess. I should tweet that or something. Lastly, final question he asked, what actions do you feel you must take immediately based on this insight or revelation? And again, I had several bullet points. So number one, I said I should start journaling or doing the stack every day, which I've been doing. And I haven't done it daily, but I've been doing it a lot more these last couple of months. Two, share what revelations and truths come out of my journaling in the Foundry, on social, on my email lists. 3, clarify my story and our mission and vision statement so I can pick up writing again, blogs and newsletters in a powerful way. Just I guess sharing, what is the purpose of the Hero Foundry, the origins, the milestones we've had along the way, what results we've created for people. And finally, number 4, I said I need to stop picking up my stupid effing phone first thing every morning, because especially at the beginning, it's like every day, like, yeah, what's the latest news? What are the rules today? How have things changed? So it's like for several weeks, I know I kept going. First thing when I wake up, I would just check stupid social media on my phone, and then I would get depressed, But I really recognize with this whole process of the journaling, like, yeah, that was something I need to stop doing. Stop spending so much time scrolling through Facebook and Twitter. Stop watching the fear porn on YouTube, and instead focus on Garrett's training, on Joseph Campbell, Jordan Peterson, and the Boyos. I don't know, like I posted a couple videos, I think, on my personal profile within the Foundry. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but like there's a guy on YouTube who calls himself Uber. Well, the channel is Uber Boyo. I love those two. They've really grown on me. They do a lot of actually they were reading through like Carl Jung, a book called Aeon, which is crazy. It's like everything we've been talking about, and then a lot of Friedrich Nietzsche and other like philosophers and psychology and stuff. So that's good stuff. Yeah, so I'll just
When
like
did
stop falling into the trap of what we were talking about the other day. Just scrolling through social and
Mhm.
staying tuned into that news 24/7, and instead really focus like any free time on the few kind of most productive teachers that I have in my life. So that was my actionable takeaways.
One of the things that you mentioned about the phone and stuff like that, I noticed a lot of the time when I first wake up, I use my phone as an alarm clock, right? So I use it, and then before work, typically I would hop on Facebook or something like that, just to start scrolling through. And I've gotten to where, at least when I'm off of work anyway, when I'm home, I'll use it for an alarm clock typically, but I don't usually hop on Facebook until about maybe noon or later than that. And so I go like hours without even touching it in the morning, other than being woken up by the alarm on there, just trying to stay away from all that crap.
That's good, man.
And one of the things you mentioned, and I was curious about this, on your your actions that you feel you must take immediately. You mentioned doing more of the stack training and stuff. Are you talking about like this whole five, like, is it journaling more, or is it just going through these questions more often, or how's that working out exactly?
You've got the book, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you've made much progress in that, but and at some point, I'll share this with you guys here in the group as well. But where is it? Probably around page 200-ish. There's a whole section on the stack. And so this particular 5-step training, and I snagged the videos and just posted them here in the Foundry while I could, because it's like this was the first time I'd seen him post it publicly, any training on the stack. And as I've been saying from the beginning, like obviously, yeah, this is kind of custom tailored to this pandemic situation, and it starts with fear. But the daily, so he's actually got a bunch of different kind of sequences. But the main, like in the original stack training, it's here in the book. And yeah, it starts with release the rage. So it's like often, sometimes it could be fear, I guess, but like usually you start off with like when you're triggered, when you're pissed off, when you're upset, disappointed by something, So in this moment, who has triggered you to drift, feel angry, frustrated, pissed off, hurt, upset, or disappointed, and why? So and yeah, it's basically it follows the same general sequence. It's like a 5-part journaling sequence you go through, and you can kind of do it. You can do it all in one go if you have like a serious life problem, or you can kind of use certain segments, in different instances, depending what sort of challenge you're facing. So yeah, like if you got the book there, you can see kind of the original stack training there. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this sequence, like I was definitely planning to share more the standard stack. So yeah, for me, it's like, I do journal most days, but a lot of times I'll just kind of do free form or more like a focus on gratitude journaling or something like that. But yeah, I've been doing more of like the stack that's in the book, the Warrior book. Especially after I went through this again. This was like from early April, and it really, going through all 5 trainings, like, yeah, made a huge difference. He really did. He really custom catered it for like this scenario we're in, But it also this generally walks you through the idea of like, yeah, picking apart your stories, and kind of looking at different angles and supporting evidence and choosing the story that serves you best, right? So that's kind of the overall framework.
Okay, I'll go and check out that section of the book real quick in a bit and see what's going on in there. So you can maybe continue after this as well, see what else is on there.
My recommendation, though, first finish off part 4 and 5.
These. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish this and then do the next one.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're down for it, I mean, at some point, in the next month or so, we can delve into the book a bit too with your help. That'd be great. I mean, just to kind of wrap it up, those last 2 questions were, based on those insights that you've gotten about yourself or your stories. What specific lesson on life are you coming to learn as you complete this process? And then finally, what actions do you feel you must take? I mean, if either one of you, if you have any thoughts on that, just before we wrap it up, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been. I can't get the jump. Sorry, what's his name again? Garrett. I can't get the book
Garrett,
here in Canada, but just listening in, it's like for me, I need to unplug from the matrix. If that makes any sense? Like I need to get my business going. I don't want to be dependent on a job, the government, that sort of thing. I just kind of wake up a little bit. Since I met Cody, last about over a year ago, I kind of been waking up a little bit more. It's still very hard because I was programmed this, you got to get the job, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to make the money, you got to, it's like, it's very hard to get out of that mindset. And Cody knows a little bit of my background too, and I'm still have issues with that. Just kind of unplug from the matrix, kind of get my spiritual well-being. Hasn't been the greatest. Done some bad things in my life, and I'm kind of making up for it. That's kind of where, for me, like I'm just unplugged from everything and do my own thing and be my own man kind of thing, and that's where I'm at with that. So, yeah.
So I was thinking this whole process about personal growth and everything. It's that's the way I see it, is do more each day and start trying to journal more, or that making that like at least fairly routine, because that's one thing that I used to never do. I used to never have a very, I guess, positive thoughts on journaling or keeping like a diary or whatever. Like we mentioned, I think last call was kind of like that when he first started, and that's the way I had always viewed it. I think when my wife would get upset, she would start journaling or writing stuff down, and I'm like, that's so childish. Why are you doing that? Anyway, so kind of starting to change my mind on that a little bit, and something that I want to start trying to focus on as far as do a little bit more often. Just work on growing, I guess, in every possible way in my faith and going through my business and something that will allow me to be more self-reliant, I guess you'd say, not having to rely on so many other sources, job-wise and everything like that. And as Rico said about brought up and everything like that, the way you're raised and, getting a job and doing this, I mean, that's the way that was instilled in me as well. My parents were really old school. And I bring up any of this talk about, if I get it going really well or something like that, if I can just get it going smoothly and I wouldn't have to worry so much about going back to this job that I'm not really a big fan of. And of course, you don't want to do that. You're what's the word I'm looking for? Or just the situation could change so fast. Security, right? Your security lies in that job solely, right? And,
you're not being responsible. That's what my parents have.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much, yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. But my dad's old school, the old school Italian guy, that's the way it is. And that's, you graduate high school, if you graduate, it's like you're not being responsible, blah 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 blah. And he's very old school.
I'm sure we've all heard that. Yeah, you're not being responsible. That's the entrepreneur's journey, man. Everyone's gonna think you're crazy until one day you'll show them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're here, man. I know believe me, I know it's extremely difficult, but it's worth it. It is worth it. So yeah, that's kind of one of my principles. I think early on, it was like I told you guys, just don't ever give up. Just even no matter how hard it gets, just keep making little tiny steps every day. No matter how small. But if you never turn back, like eventually you'll get there. You'll get where you're going. But yeah, it does. We got to take a lot of arrows in the back. So yeah. Well, it's been a real pleasure, guys. Thank you both, and it's great to see you, Rico. I guess I need to get some rest here real soon so I can charge up for the morning my time, and yeah, see you guys your evening tonight. And we'll start to actually dive into Joseph Campbell finally. So I'm really psyched for that. And yeah, so have your books ready. I hope you get a little nap if you need it, or have a great day, whatever you got going on. But yeah, hopefully we won't have any problems with timing and stuff. But I'll see you guys tonight.
Hey, a quick question. As far as the fifth stack goes, when you want to try to schedule that?
I mean, whenever you've got another day off, I guess, So,
okay. See, I'll be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday on day shift. I got the evening times available. I should be off Monday, and then I go back to my nights on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, first thing I need to triple confirm with people about what we're doing on. It's Monday for me, whatever day it falls on for you guys, but just with the regular meeting time, because last week I bungled it up pretty bad. The one thing, and I guess, Rico, I know you're trading early morning. The one thing, my son is online in the mornings, not every day, but most days for school. My wife's been having the new trainee come almost every morning also. So, the mornings around here are just kind of crazy. And that's on top of the internet challenges we were already having. But just send me a message and let me know what days you got off, or what any time slot that would be good, as long as it's morning or evening for you. And I need to lock in the regular mastermind time, and then we'll figure it out, but no rush. I think we'll do something tonight. And Rico, did you say you've got time? Was it your Saturday also? Possibly.
I got time tonight. It's Thursday here right now, so I'm doing an overtime shift Friday, but Saturday my time.
So yeah, I think maybe tonight we'll do some Hero's Journey, dive into the book, and then maybe Saturday. I don't know. Honestly, I'm starting to get too tired to think in time zones. but yeah, first thing in the morning, I'll start to look at it, and I'll get back to you guys. But let's do something on Saturday if you guys are available. Fair enough.
Sounds good, man.
Cool.
That'll be good.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here and for chiming in and giving your perspective. It's been fun. It's been cool. All right, guys.
All right, man. Y'all take care. Thank y'all.
Yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, see you tonight.
All right, sounds good.